What's up, guys? Courtney Cox, joined by my good friend Zack Cox here as we get ready for the Patriots matchup with the Miami Dolphins on Sunday. So a little practice report. And Zack, it is getting late in the season. It's getting to that point in the season where a lot of guys are getting banged up. So what do we have headed into Sunday?
Big name to watch on the injury front is Damien Harris. Harris has been the Patriots' lead back ever since taking over for Sony Michel back in week 4. Been really impressive in that role, but he left last week's loss to the Rams with a back injury. Running backs coach Ivan Fears gave a positive update on him after the game, saying that basically he seemed better than expected after the game, but he also wouldn't really put any make any predictions on whether Harris will be active for this week's game against the Miami Dolphins. Patriots are practicing inside in the bubble this week, likely to simulate some of that Miami heat. So because of COVID protocols, reporters aren't allowed to watch those practices. So don't know yet whether Damien Harris participated in practice Wednesday, but that's definitely going to be probably the biggest name to watch on that injury front this week.
Well, sticking with injuries from a guy who's made a big impact on the Patriots recently to a guy who is making a big impact for the Patriots back in October. We haven't seen Julian Edelman in a bit now, and a lot of people were expecting him to come back sooner than right now. So any update there? Are you hearing anything at Gillette?
Obviously, the time is running out a little bit there with Julian Edelman, considering the Patriots do only have 3 games left in this season. He has been eligible to come off injured reserve for about 4 or 5 weeks now, has been removed from the COVID list. You remember he spent a stint on the COVID list while he was also on injured reserve. We've yet to see him back out at practice yet. Bill Belichick has given a series of positive reviews of Julian Edelman's progress. He said Wednesday morning that Edelman is day-to-day, and when he is ready to get back on the field, they'll start that 21-day clock on him. Again, not clear yet whether that happened Wednesday or whether that is still to come. But the time is running out because the Patriots don't have a ton of time left in this season. And if you get down to week 17, you got an older wide receiver who's dealt with a knee injury and hasn't played in 2 months. Is it really worth activating him at that point, especially if the Patriots are out of playoff contention? So we'll see if we see Edelman back on the field in these coming weeks, but it'll have to happen soon if it's going to happen.
Well, I think another thing that's interesting is looking earlier on in the season, the Patriots did get a win over the Dolphins. You had a great tweet that said Cam Newton ran all over the Dolphins in that game. But this is a different Miami team than we saw the first time around. The first time it was Ryan Fitzpatrick. Now it's Tua Tagovailoa. So for you, is this a complete different matchup?
I don't know if I'd say it's a complete different matchup, but it's definitely a different team than the one that the Patriots faced in week 1. Obviously, there's a new quarterback in Tua there instead of Ryan Fitzpatrick. But even on defense, the team that the Patriots played in week 1 was really still kind of gelling and trying to come together. You remember they added a lot of pieces on that defense, including several former Patriots over the offseason, and those guys didn't have any preseason games to really get themselves together. So I think you saw that unit consistently improve over the course of the season. They're enter this week's game ranked 2nd in the NFL in points allowed. They're 1st in third down defense, or tied for 1st in takeaways. So it's been a very Patriot type defense that Brian Flores has been running down in Miami, which shouldn't really surprise anybody considering Brian Flores is a Patriots alum. But this is a talented Dolphins team. The Patriots always also struggle down in Miami when they play there late in the year. So this is going to be a difficult challenge for them for sure.
All right, well, we are heading towards Sunday. Game time, 1 p.m. down south. The Pats getting out of here as the snow rolls into New England. Thanks, Zack, for taking the time to talk to me.